Don't worry, folks. We are here. We'll be with you in just about 2. Good evening. Welcome everyone to the In the Spotlight radio show right here on Q95 FM radio. We are a little bit on the late side tonight, but that's okay, and I hope you understand as well. Mrs. Annette Schillingford, Mrs. Annette Santiller, who's been a guest on this program, was being honored tonight. One of our local heroes, and so a few minutes were taken into the In the Spotlight radio show time, but that's all right. We understand. We hope that you stood by all the same for our program tonight. Wherever you are, if you're tuned into Q95 on 95.1 FM or any other streams or other mediums used to listen to Q95 FM, we're happy to have you tonight. If you're on the Facebook Live, say hello to us, let us know you're here. We're starting with our guest in just a while. Again, saying thank you to Q95 for allowing us here on a Monday night. We've been steady since the opening of the new year. We've been here except for last week Monday, of course, which was a holiday in Dominica. We acknowledge and say thank you to Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited. I ran out of my stock of wine, so Jenny, I'll be linking you up for another 6 for the next 6 guests, including our guest tonight. Deepex, Jordan Jerome GK, Akim Low, Innovate Multimedia, and you, our fine listeners, friends and fans. Always a pleasure to be here to do this for you. You can view this on the In the Spotlight radio show page, on my page, on the group by In the Spotlight radio show, so it's called the ITS radio show group. You can check us out there as well. Shared it on a few other in a few other groups, so you can check it out on Sisters Supporting Sisters, Growing Up in Dominica, and all of these other groups. Alright, so we're gonna get ready to start talking, having a conversation. By the way, there is a young lady whom I spoke to today. I won't call her name because I'm not sure if she would want that. But I really just want to shout her out. She'll know who she is once I say what it is. So last week, which was the holiday, she said on Wednesday night, she's getting ready to listen to the In the Spotlight radio show because she forgot it was a holiday weekend, long holiday weekend into Tuesday, and she thought it was a Monday, and she was getting ready to listen to the program, and then was a bit disappointed when she realized that it was in fact Wednesday. Today was the first time that I actually found out that she listens to the program, and I think it just allows me to realize, you know, the right variety of people who listen to the In the Spotlight radio show. And I think it is because it is a program which speaks to people, which is about people. It's a human interest type of program. And so people normally navigate to that kind of thing. We love to hear the stories of others, especially the good stories that motivate and inspire and do all of that good stuff. So to that lady who we spoke today, I just want you to know that I remember you, and I just want to say a special good evening to you, and thank you so much for the support and for tuning into the program, and everyone who does so. You know, I regularly meet persons who hail me up and say, Ferdina, I love your programs on a Monday night. You know, I always listen, I don't miss it. So to all of you, I just want to say thank you and wish you a wonderful, wonderful evening as we bring you this In the Spotlight radio show tonight with my twin. My twin. I'm not even going to take any more breaks. I'm just going to go straight into the program. I think you all would appreciate that. My twin. Good evening to you, Father Elton Letang.
Good evening, Ferdina.
How are you?
I am great, thank you.
I can tell that you are great, you know. And I call you my twin because, well, don't tell them what year you were born, because then you're going to sell me out and say what my age is. So apparently we were born, and we found that out, what, 2-3 years ago?
That's correct.
Yeah, we found that out. So Father Letang and myself share the same birth date and the same year. So we're exactly the same age.
That's correct.
And I think that's something that I know not many people, you know, there are people who believe in astrology and all of that, and you know, so we are Scorpions, and I think that we do have the similar type of personality. We are jovial, you know, we draw people to us.
That's correct.
We have what you call an infectious
That's
personality, you know, and it's a fact. It's really true. And those of you who know me and who know Father Letang very well will agree that that is really a fact. So you know there's going to be problems today. Father Letang, let me welcome you to the program and thank you for accepting the invitation to be here. We have quite a bit to talk about tonight, including for those who are Catholics, the Lenten season. We're going to get to know about you, few stories here and there. I hope that we're going to get that, and I'm really excited and looking forward to our conversation tonight. I'm going to allow you the opportunity to say good evening to the listeners and to the viewers on social media.
Yes, so first of all, thank you for asking. It was something I always was waiting for. You know, I just said one day, you know, she's gonna ask me her twin to ask me to be in the program, and it finally arrived.
Wow.
So good evening, Dominica. Good evening, those who are viewing us online, those who listen to the program. I know that they my family and friends all over the world love them tonight and listen to the program. So if you are viewing us and if you are listening via radio, good evening.
All right. So again, it is. I always intended on asking you to be on the program. Can I tell you? Could I share with you why I knew I had to have you on the program? I'll tell you why. It's not because we are twins, we are birthday twins or anything like that. It is because I have observed you. And you are a priest, yes, but I refer to you as the unorthodox priest because I see you liming. You go to fetes, you know. You go to calypso. Sometimes even if you have collar in your neck,
That's correct. That's correct.
So I always found that to be quite interesting to me, and it's something that I said, you know, I have to speak to this guy, this gentleman at some point. I need to invite him on the In the Spotlight radio show because I need to understand, is it okay to do that as a priest?
It is very much okay to do that as a priest, you know. In fact, when I worked in Trinidad, I've been in Trinidad for 7 years, and it's something that was very much encouraged. The clergy take part in social activities. In fact, the church even organized carnival bands, you know, during, of course, the festive season. It's a way that you can reach out to the young people. It's a way to get them back into church. In fact, I remember a program we had in Trinidad called Spirit and Lime. And this is the name Spirit and Lime. So of course we would rent a club or a bar, yes, and bring the young people to the restaurant, the club, whatever it is. And we would always have something theological, something spiritual, something upbringing, you know, something kind of to bring them closer to God. But at the same time, they were allowed to purchase their drinks and have a beer and just take part in the conversation. Of course, it's something that has been with me even before becoming a priest. That's who I am. You know, I was a very social, outgoing person, and the priesthood did not change that. You know, I'm aware I'm a priest and I'm aware of my surroundings. You know, but I can still take part in calypso show. I can take part in the Juve. You know, I can take part in any kind of social activity. Just know that who you are and what you bring forward. You know, so there's nothing wrong with a priest taking part in this kind of activities. In fact, you know, I remember walking in the Roseau with my jeans
and your shorts. You wear shorts.
Right. So I remember walking in the Roseau with my jeans, and this lady who I knew very well, she said, "Father, you are in jeans. Why are you wearing your jeans?" I said, "But what wrong with wearing my jeans? You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, or if I go running, which I love to. I love running. I love exercising. I love adventure. I love the outdoors. You know, and I go running, and people would say, "But Father, why are you running? You know, priests are meant to have big stomach." I said, "Which priest is that? Not me for sure." You know, so I think people have put the priesthood or the priests themselves in some kind of pigeonhole. So if you go out of the box, it might create a little problem for them. In fact, I realized that Dominica is a little bit more conservative than Trinidad, you know, and I think it's time that we kind of look at the priest as a human being, another person, you know, just like them. You know, so there's nothing wrong with us taking part in culture. My father Branco was a former Calypsonian and winning time king 2 or 3 times, you know, and of course he's continuing to enjoy himself, you know. So yes, I do take part in this.
It always fascinated me.
Right.
It always fascinated me. And sometimes I would see him with his collar on and he's at an event and he's having fun. Do you drink? Like, would you have a beer or something?
I do drink. Socially, my favorite drink is gin and tonic. So if anyone listening tonight, you know, you can always pass a bottle of gin and tonic. Preferably Bombay. I love Bombay.
Is that a brand of gin?
It is a brand of gin.
Yeah. Do we sell it in Dominica?
We do. It's a little more. It's on the smoother side compared to Gordon's. You know, I say Gordon's is an old man drink. You know, you go to the bar and ask for Bombay. Say, what is that? We only have Gordon's. I say Dominican drink or Gordon, any kind of.
Yes. So you want to introduce them to Bombay then?
Sure. Yeah, I do love Bombay.
I'm happy that you've opened up to us about this, because it's honestly, this was one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you onto the program, so you could explain this to me. You know, if it's okay. Does the bishop have an issue with that?
Oh, no.
Does anybody have an issue with that?
No. As long as you're not overdoing it, as long as you're not alcoholic, and that defines that separates you, right? But you know, as I said, I drink socially. but not overdo it. You know, I want to drink in the company of others.
Okay.
They say if you drink by yourself, then you're on the verge of becoming an alcoholic.
Okay.
You know, but I always like to drink with company of others.
But not during the Lenten season.
Actually, people do drink, priests do drink, but I have given up alcohol actually, so I'm doing pretty well. You know, the only one I drink is preferably the blood of Christ, the Sunday wine. But it's a decision that I made to.
Care to tell us why? Care to tell us why?
I'm trying to see how disciplined I am.
Okay.
You know, and I think that this.
Just being a priest is already being disciplined. So I don't think you should be in a position where the alcohol is concerned.
Exactly, right. So there's two things I have given up. You know, I love chicken. Oh my God, I love chicken anyway. You know, and I said to myself, I'm going to challenge myself, you know, this Lent to abstain from meat on a whole. So, so far so good, and same as alcohol as well. I say this Lent I am going to give up alcohol, you know, and I'm doing pretty well.
Just for Lent then? Just
for Lent, you know. But I'm very much I am here waiting to see what is going to happen after Lent, if I'm going to continue it.
Okay.
You know, or say, okay, that's enough. Let me get back to my meat or my wine.
But later I like you. No, you're so real. I love the realness about you, and I'm sure those who are viewing and listening are saying the exact same thing. This priest is real. You keep it real.
In fact, one of my parishioners who is, she don't eat meat, and when I told her I'm going to give up meat, she's so happy. She's so happy right now.
Temporarily.
So whenever she is doing fish, she always calls me. She says, Father, I did fish. Do you like some fish? I will say yes. You know.
And parishioners do that kind of thing.
Yes, of course. They love
They take care of the priest.
They take care of the priest. They take care of the priest. They make sure the priest is well fed. You know,
so they cook for you.
They do cook. Not well. Where I live,
do you have your own cook?
I do have my own cook. You know, but they invite you to your home and say, Father, what are you doing on Sunday? You know, we're doing something. Would you like to come? And I said, sure. You know, there's some parishioners who have game nights. And I said, Father, we have a game night. Are you coming? He said, sure.
See,
you know?
Yeah,
exactly. So there's nothing wrong, you know, with the priest having fun. You know. Because it's a lonely life.
Right.
You know, it could be a lonely life. It depends how you make it to it.
Yes.
Because I know that there's little priests who live by themselves, and of course, after Mass, they go home and they don't see anyone to themselves, and they don't see anyone after that. You know, happy to be working in Dominica. I can always run home to my mother's cooking on a Sunday afternoon. I just am a hiker. I like hiking. I love the adventure. So I'm never bored. It's never bored. It's not boring. You know, that's one of the questions people ask me when I moved from Trinidad back to Dominica, because I lived in Trinidad.
We'll talk about that in a while.
All right, for 7 years. If I don't get bored living Trinidad with all the nightlife, you know, and coming to Dominica is so boring. I said, who said Dominica is boring? Dominica is not boring, you know. There's lots of things I like doing, and it's available in Dominica, so I do it, you know. It's one life to live, and I'm trying to do everything for the good Lord cause.
And I like that. Being a priest should not prohibit you from enjoying life, like so says, you know. Enjoy your life. Father, you just spoke about, you know, sometimes on occasion you run to your mom's home to enjoy her home cooking. So let us tell us what part of Dominica you're from, and tell us about your family and your upbringing. We're going to talk about that on that part of the program.
Sure. So I am from Girardel, and I attended the Girardel Government School, and then to the St. Mary's Academy, and then to college. My family, a very large family. My dad, his soul rest in peace, he passed 2 years ago. There were 12 of us in the family, and I was number 7
You were number 7?
Yes.
Of 12 children?
Yes.
Okay.
My mom, she had 7 of us, my mom, before she met my dad. She had 2. And we grew up, a very close-knit family. Of course, I lost 3 siblings last April, strange, but they all died within a week and a half. The 2nd, 7th, and 11th of April.
2nd, 7th, 11th.
Right. So 2 brothers and a sister, they passed April last year. The 2 brothers, they had severe strokes and they succumbed to that. My sister had kidney issues and she died because of that. But sometimes I feel like she might have grieved over my brother too much and taking a toll on her.
On one of your brothers? She was
Yes.
very close to one?
Right. So she of course she died.
What was that like for not just for you, but for your family?
It was difficult, very difficult. I mean, I'm telling someone, my brother just died and I'm in the hospital with my other brother, and as I step out, he just passed, But I believe that theology, studying helped me a lot to cope with these things, And I had to be very strong for my family, Even today, I'm not really shed a tear, So my mom...
You did not cry?
No, I did not cry.
I'm ready to start crying for you and you did not cry.
No, I did not cry. I wish I would have cried. I would
Not
feel
even
much better.
afterwards?
No, even afterwards. But I had to be strong for my family, every one of them. I remember that morning, that April 11th, the doctor called and I went to the hospital, ICU, and 5 minutes after my arrival, he died. I called the funeral home. Then the funeral home came to the body, and I'm there saying, "Oh gosh, how am I going to tell my mom?" So I called my uncle, Benton, I called him and I told him the news about Ian just passed.
So Ian was the first who passed?
No, Loftus was the first. Loftus died in the States. Yes, Loftus was the first. So it was Loftus, Cheryl, and Ian. Yes. So I drove up to Gibraltar on that Saturday morning. It was actually Easter Saturday, Glorious Saturday. I drove up, and it was around mid to 6 in the morning, and I got home, and I could feel the tension in me, and my mom came out of her room and she said, "Hey, you early today?" I said,
"Oh my God."
Yes. And kind of holding on to the doorpost, and I was like, "Ian died, She said, "What?"
Just like that, Father?
That's why I could have done it. I just could do it at that time, I don't know how, I didn't want to get it out, put it this way. And I told her, "Ian died, She told her, "What?" I said, "Yeah, Ian died." And then, the wailing. So that woke up everyone now, the cry and the scream and stuff like this. So it was a difficult April last year.
COVID was already...
COVID, right. And you could not travel to my brother's funeral in the States. So yes, 3 siblings of mine passed last year. My father was a police officer. He was a hot boy. I always say whenever the transfer he left, he made an arrest.
He left his mark.
He made an arrest. So there, the 9 of us still. The last, interestingly, I did not know all of the siblings at a very early age. I remember in St. Croix, I would have resigned from convent prep my first stage in the priesthood, studying in St. Croix. And I remembered at the end of the semester, so it would be somewhere April, about to head home back to Dominica, and my mom would say, hey, Elton, go look for this lady, Francilia from Girodel. And I got information as to where Francilia worked. She operated a barbecue. And I drove down to Frederickstead in St. Croix, and I saw Francilia, we were talking, we were laughing. And then she's asking me, how did you get there? I said, I drove myself. He said, no, your father brought a child, a son here? I said, my father has a child. I said, yes, he has a child here in St. Croix. And she sent another guy to go look for Jeff. His name was Jeff. And the guy went to call Jeff. I've never met this guy before, never heard of him before. And I'm here waiting to see who that Jeff is. And when I looked and I saw my father, I said, oh gosh, that he is my brother. And he walked straight up to me. And we introduced, we met for our first time. None of us knew, apart from Francilia, that we were brothers. You know. And there's another one very much like that too. Remember, he was one of my brothers was in Portsmouth, who was traveling, and he went to Pass, traveled about a ticket. And back then I had a cousin who worked at Pass, traveled Chazo, and when Chazo saw the name Letang, he said, Letang, I have cousins up in Nigeria who was Letang. He said, yeah, man, I have some brothers and sisters up there.
He heard.
So Chazo said to me, well, when you get back to Dominica, come check me out and take you up to Nigeria. And that was it. The rest is history. You know, but we are all, I'm a family type person. So if I know that you are related to me, I will go look for you. Yeah,
that's important.
Me. It is important.
Yes. You said that your family was a farming family.
Yes.
But how did that work out? How did, was that how it was from the beginning in terms of farming?
It was like that from the beginning. Ever since I knew myself, we were big into flowers. We are still big into flowers, you know. And my mom would have made money by selling flowers. You know. This might sound bad, but you know, sometimes when someone dies, she gets happy because she gets a sale.
Oh my!
Yeah, so she made her income by selling flowers, and also we had vegetables, you know, carrots and just near it. And on Saturdays, or early Saturday morning, I would be helping my grandmother in the market. So we'll be up at 3, get into the truck in the market, and I would stay with my grandmother until the end of the day.
In your bio, Father, not to cut you off, you speak very highly of your grandmother.
Yes.
Tell us more about her.
She was a no-nonsense person. She really protected me. And when I say protected me, even from the other denominations, because I remember certain situation where we had a visiting church, and they came home and they were talking to me, and of course I would allow them to just I would hear them out. And my grandmother comes out and she said, "Ani patouche sa, sa se pea, ani patouche." You know, so that kind of protection, and she would look out for you. She'd make sure that you're well educated. She made sure that we attend church. You know, she would correct us. You know, instill really good Christian values in us. And of course, she was a breadwinner for most of the time. In fact, she worked on Richfield Estate. She was an overseer. And I remember also in the afternoon, weekdays after school, I would walk down to Richfield Estate and meet her. And she would have all these mangoes and tangerines and just name it, fruits to take back home as a feast. So she was a person I really look up to. Again, from her background, she was a disciplinarian. But thank God for her. You know, I'm happy that I am the person who I am today because of her. You know.
And when you speak of your mother, you speak about your mother showing you love.
Yes.
How important was that to you?
She protected us. You know, there's a beautiful song that we sing in church. I'm sure the mother forget the child for whom, right, coming to me, right, and she was the one who kind of had us on her wing. You know, I recall Hurricane David, you know, little boy, and she held us, you know, under her wing, because at that time my father had left her, you know, like a lot of the fathers of today abandon their children. I mean, there are good fathers, but there are some who abandon their children. My father was one of these one, abandoned us at an early age, you know, and because of that, my mother felt she had to protect us. You know, I remember a situation that happened. I would think I was in early primary school. I would never forget that as long as I live. And we were in church that Sunday, and my father had a mental breakdown. And we were in church that Sunday, and it was right during consecration. And he walked in bareback, and he had 2 corns in his hand. And then he walked up straight to the altar. And as the priest raised the chalice and the bread, you know, he knocked it down from the priest, and people scattered to my mother, grabbed us, you know, like the cats. When that cat is carrying its kitten, just bite them over the neck. She just grabbed us. I'm not sure how she got all of us. And we had to run away to our uncle's home who was nearby. So that's the person that she is, you know, and I really and truly love and appreciate her for that, you know.
Mm-hmm. She's listening right now.
She's listening, oh yes.
Say something nice to her.
Hey Lisa, I love you.
Do you call your mother Lisa?
You know, it's interesting because we all grew up calling her by her first name, eh?
Really?
Every one of us.
What happened to mommy, your
I
mommy,
don't
your mom?
know. I try, you know, but it doesn't sound real. Because we all grew up, it's like a force, I'm forcing it, you know. Once I say, hey, mother, I call her mother a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mother. But from the first child, Louisa.
How did she allow that?
I have no idea.
And everybody just followed suit?
Yes.
So you call your mother Louisa?
Louisa.
Well, Louisa, good night.
And other than no wonder I say, hey, mommy, a mother.
Yes.
You know, hey, Louisa, what's good for lunch today?
Oh gosh. And I'm sure she just goes along with it.
Exactly.
Yes. So your mother, you said, had 9 of you all?
No, 7.
7? And your dad had 2?
No. My dad had 12 in all. 12
in all that you know of?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's
Do you
correct.
think there may be some that you probably still don't know?
You never know.
You never know.
You never know. I've heard little stories.
Don't worry, I heard about my father too.
I've heard little stories about this person there and that person there, and really and truly they do look like us.
Oh my goodness.
You know, they do look
But
like
you
us.
cannot claim. You cannot just go and claim.
Okay. And you know, interestingly, they do know as well. You know? So when we meet each other, we really greet each other. They say blood is thicker than water. Right.
You feel it.
Of course. So we know that there's a connection. You know? Yeah.
Okay. Father, let's talk a bit about life in general growing up as a child in the community of Shirodel.
So I was very much involved. I remember right after, we're a Christian country, and it says after confirmation you are strengthened to do almost everything. So after confirmation, I became very much involved in church. Not only church, but in community-based project, community social groups, in the credit movement, supervisory committee, credit committee, village council as well. I was involved in that. Even youth group, I was involved in that. So I was the person who you could always call upon to do this and do that. Let's call up Elton. Let's go by Elton. Elton can do this. Elton can do that. You know. So life in Girardel, you know, was in certain so that you had to try your best, you know, to make a mark for yourself, put it this way.
But even before starting making the mark, tell me about the childhood element, the games, the cowboy and police and cowboy, those kinds of things.
Well, I remember playing cowboy. I remember playing house.
What were you, the police or the cowboy?
We take turns. we would play house, and house was mother, father, children, sec. I remember a lot of Christmas time, the canoe, doing canoe. I remember, you know,
what is sack face?
What's that?
What is sack face?
What's that?
I don't know. It's
sack
face.
Oh, sack race.
Oh, that's a typo. I'm wondering, you know, what is sack face? Sack race.
Sack race.
Sack race. That out.
Sack race. Yes. Sack race. Police Dead Dread. We played that. Hopscotch. Marbles. I remember marbles. We used to play something with can't remember the name, but you used to have the cashew nuts.
Ah.
I'm not sure what you call it, that boy.
Oh gosh, somebody needs to tell us. Yes, with the cashew nuts.
The cashew nuts.
Ah, I don't remember either.
I don't know. I can't remember the name, but I remember playing that.
Somebody must tell us on the live.
Yes, I know they will. They will. I had a truck, a wooden truck.
You built?
Yes. I was very good with my hands, actually. In fact, even at SM, I continued that doing homework. What else I played, boys?
Just fun games as children.
Yes. Yeah. So we did all that hopscotch. Marble hole, I mentioned marble already. I played marble hole. And we also had the big one called the floaty. The big one from the Roland. The Roland. The marble of the ruler. Let's use that.
Tokes.
Tokes. It's tokes.
I don't know if it's tokes. To me, tokes doesn't seem right to me. No. Well, anyway, moving on.
Right. We did that.
But did you enjoy your childhood generally speaking?
Of course.
You enjoy your childhood?
I did.
Did you always have food on your table?
Always.
Did you always have shoes on your feet?
Always. I mean, we had a little. When you're home, of course, you can eat your food because you're not going anywhere.
Yes.
All right. But that's not when you live in your home. You got a pushing, a Toyota, a Razak.
Yes, Razak was really in our time.
Yes.
You're right. And Toyota, I still have my Toyota. It was clear. I used to have my nice clear translucent Toyota.
Yes, even Chinese shoe.
Chinese shoe. From Bata.
That's correct. That's down the road. Yeah.
Father Letang is taking me and many of us down memory lane this evening. Yes.
I'm not that old, you know.
No, we're not that old. That's the thing, you know. And when he says, I am not that old, he's speaking on my behalf too, because remember, we're the same age. Exact same age. Yes, but fun times, I'm sure.
Of course. And it's sad that children don't play these games that we played in the past, you know.
But we're getting all kinds of names. Bloche.
I don't know Bloche.
I don't know, but what a rich life you had surrounded by love. Yeah. No, we're not 47. Don't try that. We're not yet 47. Don't try that, my dear darling. Yes. See, they want to give us age. Keep our age to yourself. That is not our age. But Father Letang, just moving on. So you then, in terms of school.
So after I would have passed the common entrance, I received a scholarship.
You did?
Yes. But, and I also had for strange reason, the credit union also gave me a scholarship.
Oh, they were doing that since then?
Yes. Yep. But it wasn't like today. I mean, it was a little thing you used to get from government. So, and then I went to SMA. In fact, I played cricket for my school, Girodel. Yes, I played cricket for Girodel. And I went to SMA and met my brother Ian. He was 2 classes ahead of me. 5 years at SMA, very much involved. You know, the Christian brothers, Brother Jermaine, Brother Wakeham, back then, we've gotten involved, you know, in school and church. In fact, I was the one who was really organizing mass, you know, in SMA days, you know, and I think they could have seen the vocation
from there.
I did agriculture. I enjoyed agriculture.
Is it because you came from a farming community and family?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, agriculture. I did a little hood book as well. I remember making a table, you know, but agriculture was my thing. SMA were fun days. SMA gave me my first trip. So I traveled the first time when I was in 5th form, and we had to do an exchange in Canada in December, winter month, Canada, and that was cold.
Horrible. I hate it. Good evening, Gaylux. I hate it.
Horrible. So my first time traveling. But SM is a great school. In fact, last year they called me to do their keynote address.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, last year.
What did you speak to them about?
What was the theme, boy? What was the theme? Well, it had to do with COVID at that time.
Okay.
You know,
coping during
coping,
COVID.
yes. What was the theme about? It had to do with that sort of thing. But during the time at SMA, we had change of principle. I think Brother German came on the scene. Brother German, Egbert German, and he left and he moved to the States. But I enjoyed my days at SMA. I enjoyed. I took part in almost everything.
Go ahead.
Everything with national parade, not national parade, but youth rally and stuff like that. Cross country, running for school. What other things again?
You were pretty active.
Yeah, very active in school.
Active.
Very much active. I'm trying to remember what else, boy, on SMA. But I did a lovely time at SMA.
While you're thinking, you know, you seem to have admired your teachers quite a bit. And you speak of probably even listening more to what your teachers had to say as opposed to sometimes home. And you also speak about your teachers being the ones who helped you along the way with the birds and the bees.
Right. I remember I started primary school, and of course every afternoon we would be taken away from the classroom and we'd go look for a tree, and we'd be sitting under the tree. And I remember his name was Froggy back in the days. Some principal named Froggy. What was his name, boy? Mr. Edwards. Froggy. And Froggy was as blunt can be. And he would tell you everything you need to know, you know. And of course, same as the SMA too, you know, the teachers have to do just that. Tell you the truth, you know. You're getting older, you're getting younger, you know.
But you see, you speak about the birds and the bees not much being discussed at home.
Right. I mean, over time, I don't think that will happen to you too for that. But around my time, my mom, you know, was talking about sex, you know, or what to do with a girl, and
or what
what not to do.
And how to not get a girl pregnant.
Exactly. They would not. They were afraid. Not afraid, but let us leave it on. No. They would not talk to you about this.
That was taboo.
That was taboo. Exactly. You know, I can't remember my mother ever mentioned anything about sex. You know, but even say, my girlfriend, not my first girlfriend, she never mentioned anything about sex. In protection. My mom don't talk about that. You're crazy.
None of that.
None of that.
So how did you learn about that?
Well, again, in school, Mr. Edwards was one of those who really and truly, taught us these things, and he would, of course, give us pictures, see for your own eyes, He would, I remember once he had a banana, and he would show how to put a condom on the banana.
Okay,
right.
then.
So really, this is the at late primary school, like grade 7, back in the days, grade 7, and that was it. And then of course, young boy had to try to figure out, to read a lot.
So you could have gotten in trouble, Father,
exactly.
if Mr. Edwards and other persons were not there to guide.
Yeah.
For all you know, you would probably have a little picnic somewhere or two somewhere.
That is true. That is true. But I read a lot. I mean, from the first book that we were introduced to, I, of course, did research. I kind of try to get more information. And of course, with time you know much better and you learn. After the days, boy.
Those were the days.
Those were the days, brother.
Yes, those were the days.
Yeah.
So at St. Mary's Academy, is that where you began to take a step towards priesthood, or that life? Or did it start from grandma?
It started from
taking
grandma.
you to church?
Yeah, it's a progression. I would not say there's any kind of date, like you say, okay, on that date. No. In fact, at the SMA, I was always invited to vocation weekends. They would always invite young guys, young boys, young men, to vocation weekends. And they would, of course, be looking at the boy and say, okay, this one seems to have a vocation. Oh, this one seems to have a vocation with a brother. This one seems to be a priest. And I was one of those.
That they identify?
Yes.
But what did they identify you for? Brother?
Priest.
Oh, pay.
You're right. And Monsignor John Lewis would always invite us to this vocation weekend. And I would always say, yes, I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming. Yes. But Elton would never show up.
Shame, Father.
No, because at that time, I mean, you a young boy wants a family. He wants a car. He wants a girlfriend. He wants to make money.
But Father, why tell them yes? Why put your hand up to say you come in alpaca?
I guess just to please them. And I would never show up. I would never show up. I'm always saying yes, you're coming, but yes, I'm And so it was still in me. As I said, my grandmother was the one who really kind of started off. I remember an SMA boy. She had a gentleman named Dennis Remy. You see, we live in Girardel. It's down a slope, and my home is the last house at the end of that depression, put it this way. And after SMA, or after school, getting off from the bus and you're walking home, I mean, anyone from my home can see me like about maybe half a mile away walking down. And my grandmother had this gentleman named Dennis Remy working for her in the yard. And it was about minutes to 2 in the afternoon. I'm walking down. And I'm seeing this man smiling boy at me, smiling. And when I got closer, he said, "Garçon, où que fait au père?" He would always say that. "Garçon, où que fait au père?"
What was it about you that made him think that? Was it the way you walked?
I don't know. I don't, because there is no priest don't look like a particular way, you know. I mean, you cannot say, and look at this, you can see a priest. He looks like a priest, you know. I really don't know, because of my behavior, my personality.
You think, Father?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Because I wouldn't think that of your personality.
You know, but one thing I believe though is that people see things in you that you do not see.
In yourself.
That is so true. People see things in you that you don't see yourself. So he could see a priest in me, and I would always fight it. You know.
But what was the concern for you at the time? Was it that it's you felt it in you, but at the same time, is it that it challenged you that probably you could not live a normal, quote unquote, normal life, in terms of having the family, the car, the house, and all of that? Was that the deterrent at the time?
It was at the time. I would say it was a lonely life. I look at the priest as being very lonely. You know, no wife, no children. I mean, they had family, but no family lived with them. So they were all alone. And back in the day, this priest was very grumpy. So I said, but I don't want to become like that priest.
Right.
You know, I don't want to become like that priest. So there were a few factors, of course.
Yes.
And I was fighting it. You know, I really fought it, put it this way. I fought it. But after the accident, that was the deciding factor.
So you're at the St. Mary's Academy, and you end school,
Yes.
school ends, and then what?
So after SMA, I went to college, and then,
C4
yes, and after I had to work. I couldn't get a job that time, and my uncle was into construction. And I said, "Hey, come with me, boy."
And you have to go.
Yes, you have to go. Hey, come with me, boy. You can't stay home doing nothing. You know, come with me. So I went with my uncle and I did construction. You know, oh my God, that's difficult. You know, construction. Hard work, man. Hard work. But during that time, I would kind of send up applications and stuff like that. And after that, I got a job at Newton Primary. Yeah.
So we're gonna answer the Facebook question in a while. We'll get the answer to the Facebook question, because one person says you're too young to have taught at Rosa Boys School.
Yeah.
So share with us, we'll find out the answer there.
So I got a job at Newton Primary. The principal back then was Sonia Williams. So I taught there.
Our Sonia Williams, we know?
Yes.
My family?
Yes.
Oh, Auntie Sons?
That's correct.
Cousin Sons?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, she was the principal at Newton Primary. Looked like Sheba Bell, and I met them there. And I spent 1 month at Newton Primary. And after Newton Primary,
why just 1 month?
it was the end of the school year. Yes, I only did 1 month. You know,
Okay.
it was someone I believe who was not well or sick or something like this. I was just holding on for the person.
Okay.
And after that, I applied with the government, and I remember Mima Joseph called me, said, bring my CXC, and I went up to the ministry and gave her my CXC results, and then I got a call at Rosa Boys School.
So you did teach at Rosa Boys School?
Yes.
How old were you at that time? 19, 18, 19?
Around 20.
Okay.
Because I remember...
You went to C4.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember having my first accident. That's something else. I was very prone to accidents.
Of course.
Very, very, very. So I remember my accident. In fact, I had a girlfriend in Scottsdale. In Scotland, and she was leaving for England, and I had to bring flowers for her. So, of course, I just got my license. I was excited, to drive, and I asked my uncle for his van, and he asked me where I'm going. I said, I'm going to Scottsdale.
You were honest.
I was honest.
You were going to Scottsdale,
I was going
right?
to Scottsdale.
Okay.
Yeah. But halfway through, I said, no, let me get my partners at Rosa Boys School. I was at Rosa Boys School, so I got.
So far we have Newtown Primary, Rosa Boys School. Yes.
So I called two of my partners, Thaddeus.
Which Thaddeus?
Thaddeus Senville.
Okay.
And Robert Gist.
I know Robert.
Robert Gist.
Ministry of Education.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
I was my best friend today.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll get to know why.
Okay.
So, and he went down to Scottsdale, so I left him in the vehicle and I went to bring my flowers for the girlfriend who was going to England. So,
as to why you're bringing partners behind you to bring flowers for your girlfriend is another story. Who's leaving to go to England, but anyway,
so
go on, Father.
So they stayed in the van for a very long time. So after that, no, I said, hey, don't go line. So we got out of super escorted area and we're heading down to Maho. And when we arrived at Fonkole, just after the fisheries there, for some strange reason, I had an explosion. My back tire blew off. I don't know what happened. And oh gosh, I lost control of the vehicle.
Inexperience.
And the vehicle made a 90-degree turn towards the sea and it went straight into the sea. And flipped into the sea. I could not swim, but I got out so fast on the passenger side, not even on my side. All I can remember was Robert Gist screaming, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm.
Oh my God, you're gonna have people calling Robert Gist my arm tomorrow.
So I got out and I ran straight to the first house I could find. And I had to make a call. So I called home and the lady was like, you're bleeding. And I had bleeding right on my forehead there. And then the ambulance came and they picked up Robert, went to the hospital, the Cardiff hospital. And then, of course, I felt I was responsible for that. I didn't know his family, his mother, his father, no one. And I would visit him every day, and twice a day or 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I would visit Robert and I met his family and we became best of friends today because of that incident.
What I want to know is what your uncle said about his van.
When he came down to see the van, he saw the condition of the van. He just sat on his butt and he held his head. Yep.
And
right.
Did you contribute to fixing the van or replacing the
van? I had like a loan, of course, to repair the van. It was like $6,000 around that
yes,
time.
Yes,
so I had to
6,000 was a lot around that time.
That is true.
Is that like 20?
That is true.
It's like 20,000 or 18,000.
That is true. That is true. So of course I repaired the van, and then that was it. And I remember renting another vehicle and a truck hit me on the side.
It wasn't your fault this time.
It wasn't my fault. So I stayed at Rosa Boys School until it was right after election of 95. We were asked, it was interesting now, we were asked to the unqualified teachers, we were told to get out.
Oh my.
Yeah, to go look for another job.
Just like that?
Yeah, because we thought that we were going to be victimized by the incoming government. So we were told to get out. So the principal told us, get out. So inexperienced and frightened.
The incoming government at that time would have been?
UWP. Yeah. So we were told to get out, go look for a job, stuff like that. And of course,
go look for another job.
Another job. Don't say the service, put it this way. The teaching service, people were not qualified. So it was a bit frightening. So then I called Valentin Johnson, Mrs. Johnson at Convent Prep, and I was like, do you need a male teacher? And she said, sure, apply. And then I applied, and she didn't come. So I went to the Convent Prep now, and September, what year was that? Boy, 1996 there, around that time. I went to Convent Prep, And I remember my first day at convent prep. She said to me, no hugging, no kissing. No hugging, no kissing. And of course, I could understand why. But of course, convent prep was an elite school back then, you know. You have the highty-tighties, you know, the bourgeois, you know, like that. So, no, right. No hugging, no kissing. But I stayed there for almost 12, 11 years.
But was there ever any hugging and kissing?
Of course, and the children, I was the only male figure in the school for 11 plus years. And of course, children look at me as their father. If they had a bottle or their recess, their juice to open, is Solita help me there. They would come in the morning, they would rush and hug you and say, Solita.
How could you not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. You know, it was one of my best experience working at convent prep. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I learned a lot. You know, I remember when I was leaving, I got a card. I still have that card, and the student wrote it in her hand. She said, "From teaching to preaching." I'll never forget that because I was going to become a priest. I left and I resigned. I resigned, and they had this big farewell for me. So convent prep was an experience. I mean, I was as the only male teacher. Whenever there was something to do and it was heavy.
Yes, the heavy lifting.
Right. The boxes, the television, go teach the boys to use the bathroom, Solita, etc. But I had fun at convent prep. You know, even today when I see my old students, you know, it brings so much joy. You know, that I was able to contribute to where they are today. So I of course, a great amount of, you know, what I say it, to my time at convent prep.
And people are saying that you were a great teacher and giving you all of those wonderful accolades. But just to clarify for our Facebook post, so we did ask, we gave 4 options of schools that you taught before becoming a priest.
That's true.
And the 4 options were Newtown Primary, Rosa Boys School, Convent Prep, and what was the other one?
Goodwill
Primary. So you did not teach at Goodwill Primary?
I did not teach at Goodwill Primary.
Okay.
So after Convent Prep, after I resigned, I went into priesthood.
But interestingly, our poll actually went to Rosa Boys School. So many persons probably thought that you did not teach at Rosa Boys School.
I wonder why.
I don't know, Father. Father, we're going to take a break. I'm going to give you an opportunity to sip some water. Our Facebook Live always remains live. We do not stop it. We're just going to take a quick break, sip on your water, and we're coming right back. I think that we're having an awesome program and people are enjoying it. They're really loving your humility and all the little anecdotes in there, you know, that you give us as we are going through the program. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We really do appreciate that, and I'm saying that on behalf of the listeners and the viewers, and they can also say it for themselves. Are you enjoying the program, guys? Let us know. We're coming right back in just a while. Keep it locked to the In the Spotlight radio show right here on Q95 FM. If you're just tuning in, we're actually having Father Elton Letang in studios with us tonight.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
You can do your thing.
What walks of dawn in life. Spotlight is a tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories.
Oh, yes.
Touching the human.
And now he's a teacher then.
Yes.
Religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss in the spotlight on
The sing
Q95
for us, Father.
Radio.
Yes, they said too that you're a very good singer, so you know you better have something in your mind to sing for
the
us.
name, Elton John.
Oh, you like Elton John?
My name is Elton John, you know.
Huh?
My name is Elton John.
Is it?
Yes.
Facebookers, we know you can hear us, but that's okay. Your middle name is John?
John, yeah, my father named me after Elton John.
Somebody can stand Elton John later.
Yes.
Of course, we must share that. Jesus.
I remember in England, boys, I was checking in. After I checked it, the tenant was like, so you changed your name to Elton John? I said, no, this is my name from birth.
Music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public
Time's
servants,
going fast.
youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95
One is locked in,
Radio
one of our
every
parish
night
priest.
from
One.
8 p.m.
That's Yvonne. Robert. Robert had a good super with him.
My arm. 9:24 is the time in the studios of Q95 FM. This is the In the Spotlight radio show. Let me remind you to go on and become a fan of our group by the In the Spotlight radio show. So you can look out for ITS radio show and become a fan of our page. We do quite a bit on there in terms of updating and sharing information. You can also follow me as well. We have Ferdina Frampton and Ferdina Frampton, which is my public page, the latter. We're on Instagram as well. We're on social. Support us, follow us. Again, just acknowledging Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, DPEX, GK Jordan Jerome. He does the What's This? So look for it. Go to YouTube and subscribe. Akim Lowe, one of the designers, graphic designers, who does very clean and good work. He is the one responsible for our flyers. Thank you, Akim. And of course you, our listeners and fans of the program. We love you and appreciate you. And thank you for your support. And when I say your support, it's just about listening to the program, viewing, commenting, interacting, and of course enjoying the program. We've heard quite a bit so far from Father Letang. He's made us smile a bit, and I'm sure a couple of you maybe just teared up a little when he was talking about losing 3 of his siblings in about a week and a half.
That's right.
Thereabout, and I mean that must be very, very tough. But he felt that, his life as a priest, his learnings helped him to be strong, and he had to be strong for everyone else. And to this date, has not shed a tear, not for any one of the siblings. But I suspect that is something we may not understand, and only he can understand, how that worked out. We learned about the schools that he taught, his students, and all of that good stuff. And we're going to talk to him now about the priesthood. This is something that he would have shared with us earlier on, that it was there, but then he thought about, it being a lonely life, not being able to have a family, not being able to have children and all of that. And so, he tried his best to block it out until the accident.
Right.
Tell us, was that the same accident?
Another accident. So every accident was worse than the previous one.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So back at convent prep, I was at teachers college back then, still working at prep, and we were in Castlebrooks, spending time with some friend, and we went to a party at one of the Cabins home in Goodwill, and I was riding at the back with a friend of mine who was a student teacher, and his brother was driving, and of course we were speeding. I wasn't driving, and we get onto the Castlebrooks stretch on the bridge, one vehicle at a time, and there was an upcoming vehicle. We could not get onto the bridge before the upcoming vehicle, and in trying to make a maneuver not to head into the railing of the bridge, I slipped and I had a nasty fall.
Wow.
I lost consciousness. When I regained consciousness, I was at the hospital, and there is Dr. Paul Ricketts, and he looked at me and he said, "You broke your spine in 2 places."
Your spine?
Yes. So I have a multiple fractured spine even today.
Does it affect you in any way?
Not really. If I have a heavy day's work, I will feel the strain. I feel the shoulders heavy. But just the muscles, but not the bone, not the spine. When I studied in the US and winter months, then I would feel it. So while recuperating, okay, I got discharged from the hurricane, the hospital, on leave, and I'm doing my personal therapy. The whole thought about the priesthood came right back. And this time it was a little more intense, because I was dreaming about the priesthood. I would be daydreaming about the priesthood. I'm on the bus going for therapy, and I'm thinking about the priesthood. And I remember around that same time we had a retreat called Choice, Single Friends in Faith. And I was one of the founders of the Choice movement. And I remember the first weekend, the talks were so intense. We had a facility from Miami, and the talks were so intense. I remember after that talk, I told Father Mark Owen, I'm thinking of becoming a priest. I want to try it out. I was the word of try it out.
You want to try it out?
Try it out. Try it out. I want to try it out. I think I want to become a priest. And he said, sure. And he was very happy. And I went to visit Redemptorist by that time with the principal. And she said, are you sure? I said, I am not sure. I want to try it out. That was the term, I try it out. And she said, you know something? I'm going to give you 3 years without leave. And anytime during these 3 years, you're going to come back. Just know your job is at secure convent prep. So December 2004, I resigned from prep, and then I started in St. Croix 2005. I was in St. Croix studying at UVI, and then I was supposed to stay there for 2 years, but I was told that I was too advanced for the program.
Oh.
Yes, so my 2 years became 3 months.
What?
Yeah, I did it for 3 months in St. Croix. And then the same fall semester, I was already in New York, studying in St. John's University. It was a 4-year program, but thank God I had started a program with UE. So a year after studying in New York, I said, I wonder if St. John's going to take my credit, boy. So I brought it to them, and they said I have to get accredited, which I did. And the accreditation board gave me 64 credits. And then I said, I wonder if St. John's going to take my 64 credits. And I brought it in, and they took every one of my credits. So that means I knocked 2 years of my studies gone. So I only had to do the main stuff, which I was able to do in 2 years.
And what were you studying?
Philosophy.
Philosophy.
Not
degree. Theology.
No.
Philosophy.
It was philosophy and a minor in speech.
Okay.
Right. So I did my philosophy, and then after that, we had to do what we call the novitiate. It's a non-academic year where you just learn about the congregation and the saints and who the early pioneers of the Redemptorists. I'm a Redemptorist, by the way. That was in Chicago. So after Chicago, 1 year, I I went to Washington, D.C., and I studied at Washington Theological Union, and I stayed for 4 years. But the school was going through some financial problems, and the Redemptorists pulled out, and they sent us to Boston College.
Okay.
So at Boston College, I stayed there for 3 years, and I was able to get my master's in theology and ministry.
Awesomeness.
Yeah, so when I was out, finished my studies, I was still not ready for ordination, because my time was so fast.
Well, in your mind? In your mind? You still want to...
No. I would have to, at the Redemptorist, we do profess vows.
Okay.
So I was only in my first temporary vow, the first vows, and I had to stay.
Even after you got your master's?
Yes. Because I will not only become a priest, I'll become a Redemptorist, which is different from the diocesan priest.
Okay.
So after I professed my perpetual vows, I was sent to Trinidad. So I went to Trinidad in 2011. Just abroad, I put it this way. And then the October that year, I was ordained as a deacon by Archbishop Joseph Harris of Trinidad. I was his first ordination. In fact, he was more frightened and nervous than moi. So the following year, I returned home to Dominica, and Bishop Gabriel Marze ordained me at Newtown. And then I went back to Trinidad, where I stayed for 7 years. 3 of these 7 years, I was
So you've been
parish
away
priest.
from Dominica for all this time?
Yes. So I was 3 years as a parish priest in Malibara, Ontario, St. Teresa. And then after the hurricane changed everything, Maria, I got a call from my provincial, my boss, and said, would you like to return to Dominica to help in the building of my country? I said, sure!
Of course.
All right. So then I returned home in 2018.
Not too long
Not
ago.
too long ago. And here am I, and I was made parish priest of the parish of St. Anne last year, August. And that's been a great year so far. You know.
And are you going to be remaining in Dominica for some time, or is it until you're called to go somewhere?
Until I'm called to go somewhere else.
What would you prefer at the moment? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I am in Dominica right now, and I'm making use of it.
Okay.
I love being home. You know, family is there, friends are there, but because of the order that I chose, you know, we are international order, so we don't take any kind of affiliation to any kind of bishop.
Okay.
So anytime my provincial, my boss would like me to go somewhere, get a call, and I go somewhere.
Okay, so break it down
Right.
for us.
So we operate on terms. All right. The Redemptorists.
My friend Father Peter
That's
here
correct.
was here, but that was like 7 years ago.
And he listening.
ago. I don't remember what he said. He's gonna pinch me for that, but I don't remember what he said. But remind us,
Right.
help us understand what is the Redemptorist priest.
Yeah, we operate Redemptorists. We are a religious group of priests and brothers founded by St. Alphonsus Liguori in 1732. We're international order. We are everywhere around the world, so you can work anywhere the Redemptorists are. All right. So we operate on a quadrennial. So every 4 years there's an evaluation. So right. So it's like politics. Every 5 years you go vote. So for us, it's every 4 years. Every 4 years you will have visitation. So a team will come to you. But I believe this year, because of the situation, might be online. So a team will come to you and they will ask you, Elton, how are you doing? Are you happy to be in Dominica? And they will meet with your parishioners as well. Has he been a good priest? Etc., without you being there.
Interesting.
You know? Right. So if they're happy and they believe you should stay another 4 years, you know, they will leave you there. It is open in some year, they will ask you, but that does not mean that you will go there.
Okay.
You have to them.
Okay.
You know. So every 4 years there's evaluation, put it this way.
Okay.
So in the next 2 years that will happen. You know.
So you had one 2 years ago?
No, 2 years ago I became parish priest.
Okay,
Right,
okay.
right.
So, but you're due this year?
I am due this
For your
this-
4-year evaluation?
Correct. But for us, we can stay 8 years at a place. So after 8 years, you must move.
Okay, you must move.
Unless there's a dire situation.
Can you come back?
Of course.
After you go somewhere else for a period of time?
You can come back.
So in terms of the bishop here, do you have any direct affiliation or?
I mean, he appointed me parish priest, and the parish belongs to him.
Okay.
All right, so I work for him. But when it comes to assignment, he can't assign me.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
In fact, if he, well, that has changed, but really and truly, if he wants to see me in his office, he has to get permission.
Oh.
Right. Because I don't really,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't belong to the diocese with this way. In
So,
simple language, I don't belong to Dominica or the diocese Roseau. Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference in terms of the diocesan priest?
The diocesan priests, they are trained for the diocese. So Father Elvio, Monsignor John Lewis, Chapleys, they are trained for Dominica, for the diocese of Roseau.
Okay.
All right. The Redemptorist, we don't do that. Okay. We are take vows to the congregation. This way, the congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer. To belong to the congregation. So wherever your congregation present, you can work there.
I see.
As a Peter Hills in San Antonio. You know?
I send my friend far.
Right. And
away
Father
from
Joe
us.
is in Florida. Then because they are all redemptorists.
Redemptorists.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you enjoy being a priest?
I do. I do.
Is there anything you miss?
I miss.
Do you still have thoughts of the family and the everything else?
Actually, interestingly, I remembered in novitiate, I call it my dark cloud, my dark moment, where I thought of leaving. Yes. And I remember Father Peter Hill. I called Father Peter Hill, and we were just talking. And he really was the one who gave me reasons, why I should stay. Let's think of it in today's world. The job that you are presently in. Someone comes and pisses you off, and you want to walk out. I had enough, I'm leaving.
You went through that phase.
I went, of course.
You're human.
Of course.
And you did say earlier on in the program, if there's one thing you want people to realize and recognize is that priests are human.
We are human, right? And even in the priesthood, I remember, in New York, I did not go through it, but I remember all the Caribbean students, they were picked upon, racial remarks, and saying, I never thought that this existed in the priesthood or in religious life.
Yes.
And it's right there. When people look from the outside and they're looking in, you don't see these things. When you get on the inside, then you realize, oh no, these people are worse than lay people. And really and truly, they give you reasons why you should or you feel you should leave. But then again, it comes back to you, what you want, And really and truly, the priesthood has given me so wide a scope. There's so much I could do as being a priest. I could help individuals, I could teach, I could do soup kitchens, I'm able to bring people to Christ, But yes, I do miss having a family. That's the truth, But then you get so caught up and so busy, sometimes it's the last thing that you think of.
Yes.
The last thing you think of.
Before you went off to the priesthood, were you in a relationship? Did you have a
I
girlfriend?
was.
Father, later. How did you break it to your
Well,
lady?
she told me.
What?
Exactly. Well, I was in a relationship and I was spending a lot of time, in church, discerning, and she felt it. And I remember, and I'm sure she's listening right now, and I remember when I made the decision to go study for the priesthood, I went to her, and I did not know how to open up and tell her what was in my mind. And before I could say anything, she said, "You're going to become a priest, you know." I said, "No, do you know that?" She said, "I know. I'm going to become a priest." And of course, we are very close even today, and she's married and she has 2 children, doing pretty well. And we're in contact, you know. In fact, all my exes are we're still in contact.
All your exes?
Yes.
So there's a few, Father.
I mean, the priests that you see now, I mean, they were in relationship before. Of course.
Well,
right.
when Father Branca John was on, I
Right.
think he shared with me.
Right.
When Father Peter Hill was on,
Right.
I think he shared with me. I probably didn't ask Monsignor,
Okay.
John Lewis when he was
Okay.
on.
All right.
But I think everybody else said
Of
they
course.
were.
Of course. We are human. In fact, when I became
So that's why, though, Father, that it brings me to ask, you know, what you. I mean, you just came from a girlfriend, a relationship into the priesthood. I mean, how can you just forget about whatever experiences you've had with the girlfriend?
You don't forget about it. In fact, there is still temptation.
Okay.
And talking about temptation, when this is not Lent,
Yes.
you know, and temptation. There's always temptation, but you have choices. You know, and I believe in that.
Right.
You can either go after the girl,
Correct.
or you can say no.
But do they tempt? I mean, do they come out?
Of course, women today are not easy enough, Ferdina. In fact, I was in a grocery. I was in a store in Trinidad.
Yes.
I was in a grocery, and I was a Saturday.
Did you have on your collar?
No.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Saturday morning, run to the grocery, shorts, and I have 2 things in my hand, and the line is long, like about 10 people in line, and then the next person was about to catch. She just looked back and she saw me and she said, "Come," and she made me cash, and I said, "Thank you so very much," and she said, "You're welcome." She said, "You know why I made you cash?" I said, "No, tell me." She said, "You're a handsome red man." So I said, "Thank you." She said, "Do you know I'm a priest?" And she was like, "What a waste." Yeah, of course, women. I mean, some women. I mean, don't be a little bit sexist, but some women don't care.
They don't
They're
care.
after, along they like to see you. They're after you. You know, I went to the gas station and pumped gas last week, and one of the attendants, he was helping me out, and I had to pass to get my checkbook, and I passed so close to her, and she said, "Father, you're making my worms stand." I said, "What worms?" I said, "What worms is that?" So women, they are very forward with it. That's the word forward.
They're bold.
They're bold. They're in front.
But how often do you experience that, though? How often? Often enough?
At least once a month. At least once a month.
At least once
Yes,
a month.
At least
eh?
once a month. You know, I remember at a funeral. This was so funny. I was before COVID at funeral. So normally at funeral, during the sign of peace, I go out. I go out to the family, of course, and I console them and stuff like that. And I went to the family and I shook the hand of a young girl. And while shaking her hand, she used her index in her middle finger.
And played in the middle of.
played in the middle.
Oh!
Played in
I
the
thought it
middle
was
of-
only guys who did that.
Yeah, she did that.
You know what that means, for
I know. I know exactly. I know exactly what I know. So, yes.
Goodness.
You know?
So you experienced that?
Of course.
Yes.
Of
But
course.
but you've never fallen into.
No.
Thank goodness.
I mean, just like people experience racist remarks, you know, experience this kind of passes, put it this way. You know, people at work experience that, even the priest himself, you know, do experience that.
Okay. What was
It's a
it like?
change,
What was it like being in Trinidad?
Trinidad is how would I describe Trinidad, boy? It's wild, crazy, scary place to live. Resources with abundance. I enjoyed my time here. It gave me an opportunity to work with different cultures, Chinese, you know, and the black, you know, the Hindu. I remember doing a funeral for a Catholic. He was baptized Catholic, but anyways, he left the church and he went to shack up with a Hindu woman, and he died. And the woman said she would like him to have his Christian burial and also the Hindu ritual, and she invited me. And of course I said, yes, I want to experience that, because I've always heard about cremation by the river, and I've never seen that before. And I went and I did the Christian burial, and after the Hindu ritual started, you know, and it was like it was sizzling the body, put it this way, rice, you know, yeah, they put rice and sugar and incense and tallow fat, and yeah, they preparing the body to take the body to the river to get buried. And after they did that, they took the body to the river. First person who was there was me. Because I want to experience that. The thing about me, I like experiencing different things. There's one life to live, and I try my utmost best. So I got to the river, and they had the pyre, little thing like the pyramid, and there's a hole in, and they stick the casket into the pyre, and if the deceased had sons, they would shave their head, and they would have these bullseye this way, and they would be sticking chant and going round and round, and they would of course light the body at different parts, different areas of the body would light it this way. And that was interesting for me, because in school, in social studies, you read about these things, you know, and right, you want to experience it. So Trinidad gave me an opportunity, you know, that prepared me for my return to Dominica. You know, there are lots of racism, you know, even in the church, because the blacks don't like the Indians, and the Indians don't like the black, you know. We see it during election time too, you know, so it happens even in the church. You know, if I imagine a parish council, and the parish council had Chinese, you know, Indians and black, so you can imagine, you know. It was a time also that I was prepared for being robbed, because it's like every parishioner had a story, and I was like, okay, then I better prepare.
Were you ever?
No.
Thank goodness.
No. I remember going to someone's home, and you feel like you're in a birdcage. Burglar bars everywhere, and even into the person's bedroom, there's burglar bars. So you have to know where you are in Trinidad. You have to know where you are going. And of course, you know, I made sure I had right directions. So it helped me a lot. You know, they did things differently back in Dominica. They are way advanced in all things I've done here. You know, like a typical wedding in Trinidad, you would need a baptismal certificate, a birth certificate. You know, in Dominica, I just did the baptismal certificate. But since I became here, I tried to ask the party for their birth papers. In fact, I had a situation recently where I asked the guy for his birth paper, and there was a disparity. The names, his birth paper had one thing, the baptismal certificate had one thing, two different things.
That happened.
Right, so I said to him, well, you know something, if you're getting married, your name would never be registered, because that's not the name that's on the book, you know. So that is something I wish that would happen in Dominica. They don't ask for that.
Okay.
You know. So it really prepared me. They say first assignment either make you or break you. Right. So it really made me do this way.
What are some of the assignments that a priest performs? We know weddings, we know funerals, baptisms. Is that it generally? Last rites.
Weddings, yeah, not last rites. No, let's see. They'll took out their names from the book.
Oh.
Because they realize that over the years, the person does not really die extreme unction, and will even get even healthier than before. So they call it anointing of the sick.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do that. We do marriages. We do confirmation. Not the priest, but the bishop does that. But baptism, the Eucharist. As a Redemptorist, we know we don't only are pastors of the church or parish priests. Another thing about Redemptorists, all that we become, we can be in charge of retreat houses, soup kitchens, teachers as well. In fact, I long for that day when I can even go back to the classroom. I did some of it in Trinidad, Fatima College, but I really long for the day when I can go back into the classroom and teach.
Probably you might have to do it on your own, Father. Maybe start some type of adult education in your parish or something of this.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
In fact, I remembered Joe Crastel when he was parish priest at Grand Bay. He wanted to have a school for young boys because he felt that young boys were always behind the girls in education. So he felt that they were falling by the wayside. So he wanted a school just for boys, but that never came through.
Okay.
So that's something I can think of too.
Yes, indeed. You know.
And we need that. We need that.
Yes.
We need that.
More things to keep you occupied, Father. You know, you're pretty busy. Somebody wants to know if you do vow renewals.
Yes.
They said they and Bay will be coming soon once Rhonda dies, sits down. So I was referring to Right. Yes, viewer, he does that too. Father, later we're going to take another little break and get ready to do. What are you going to do for us when we come back? The song.
Oh!
Yes. And you were sharing with me, well, you tell them the song that you're going to do and by whom, and you tell them why you even like that person.
Oh, Elton John?
Yes.
I'm going to do a Lenten song for you.
You're going to do a Lenten song? I thought you were going to do Elton John.
Elton John?
Yes.
What song can I do for Elton John?
You prefer Elton John or you prefer a Lenten song? It's up to you, Father.
I'm going to do a Lenten song.
Yes,
we're in the season of Lent.
We're in the season of Lent. So your name you're saying while you're looking for your song is also Elton John.
My name is Elton John
Letang.
My father named me after Elton John because he loved Elton John music. So he named me after him. In fact, I love that name so much because it gets me out of trouble. In fact, when I'm traveling and I have little issues or I'm asking for first class, my father Elton John, Is that true? I remembered also in Trinidad where I went for my driver's license and it was a little pull string. And I got to the station and I presented my document and the guy said to me, "Come back Monday and bring your guitar." I said, "Guitar? Why?" He said, "Well, your name is Elton John."
Good one. Good one. Avril Somerville wanted you to know that she's the person who wants to renew her vows.
Ah, my sister.
Okay. Oh, is that your sister?
Yes.
Biological sister?
Yes.
Oh.
She is in Philly.
Okay.
Yes,
and
my sister.
Somebody else is suggesting you do Our Father.
Our Father? A song?
I don't know. The person put our in inverted commas. And Father. Father in heaven. Okay, so Father Letang is looking for something to do for you all before we wrap up the program tonight. I must say that this has been such a joyful time for me to be sitting here and chatting with you, and with quite a few viewers. A lot of persons are watching, a lot of persons are viewing the program, and we thank you for that. We appreciate you. We hope that you come back for other programs as well. I know some of you may have just come for Father Letang tonight, but you must become a fan of the program, and you must continue to join us for other programs. We do have other exciting and interesting guests as well. We've been doing this for 7 years, going on 8. May will give us 8 years. As I always say, of course, with breaks in between, but we've done 8 years. We're heading to 8 years of the In the Spotlight radio show. So, Father, have you decided?
Yes, God of mercy and compassion.
Oh,
we're in the Lenten season.
Yes. So tell us about before you do the song.
Yeah.
Tell us what Lent is about, and you know what it means when we say we're in the Lenten season.
So Kawem, as they call it in our crew.
Tasho.
Oui. Dry, wilderness type experience, and that's what Lent is there. So Lent is spiritual preparation. Simple as that, spiritual preparation before Easter, prepared for Easter. So it's 40 days before Easter. Now it might look like more than 40, but Sundays are not Lenten days. You know, Sundays are still considered mini Easters. So you don't fast or abstain. You can drink your rum on Sunday and eat your meat. So Sundays are out, and Thursday, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Holy Saturdays are out, and you get 40. So Lent is a time of renewal. It's a time of going back to God. It's a time of getting back on track, put it this way. You know, it's a time of prayer. You know, it's a time of almsgiving. You know, how can I build a more charitable? You know, it's a time of fasting, put it this way. But all these things are done so that you can prepare yourself spiritually for Easter. So it's a time that you have to say, it's a time of choosing between good and evil. Simple as that. You know, it's a time for you'll be tempted, and you have choices to make. Or that's what Lent is about. You know, so church has given us that season every year. You know, but it's something that we should do all through the Lenten season too. I mean, every day is a day when you can say that we are sorry. Every day is a day we can say, I forgive you. So you really don't need the Lenten season for that.
Sure.
But it is there to remind us of who we are, where we are going, and where we are from, and need each and every person. So every year, we are all called to reflect a little more deeper, you know, into our own lives and see how can we make amends and adjust ourselves so that we can experience the greater good of God.
Okay. So basically, that's what it is. And when does Easter fall?
I think Easter is April 12th. Yeah,
something of the
sort.
Somewhere around there.
Around there.
Yes. Just a little note for you. Another of our birthday twins, but not the same year. Just the same month
Julie?
and day. No, Jacinta.
Vegan.
Yes.
That's my girl in choir.
Yeah, she says, we don't want him to leave us at St. Anne's Parish. We love him. And she gives all of these big high fives and claps and so on. And she just said that she was also robbed in Trinidad. Yes, on her way to church on a Sunday morning. Imagine that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes, but that's one of our birthday twins as well. Yes.
It is sad because there are situations where the guy comes into church and he takes part in the Eucharist, the celebration, suddenly he claps.
Yes.
And the basket is passed, he gets all of his gone. And he wraps everything. Yeah.
Wow.
It happens.
This is crazy. Yeah. Crazy. Okay, Father, are you ready for us?
Yes.
All right.
So I'm gonna sing.
Somebody said they're ready to go to sleep, but they're waiting for the song. Oh, let's take care of her.
So it's a good song actually. It'd be a prayer, your bedtime prayer. Before you go to bed. It's a Lenten song, asking God for forgiveness, asking God for mercy, and of course, asking to have pity on us because we are all sinners. God of mercy and compassion, look with pity upon me. Father, let me call thee Father. 'Tis thy child returns to thee. Jesus, Lord, I ask for mercy. Let me not implore in vain. sins, I now detest them. Never will I sin again. By my sins I have deserved death and endless misery, hell with all its pains and torments, and for all eternity. Jesus, Lord, I ask for mercy. Let me not implore in vain. All my sins I now detest them. Never will I sin again. By my sins I have abandoned right and claim to heaven above, where the saints rejoice forever in a boundless sea of love. Jesus, Lord, I ask for mercy. Let me not implore in vain. All my sins I now detest them. Never will I sin again. Last verse. See my Savior bleeding, dying on the cross of Calvary. To that cross my sins have nailed him. Yet he bleeds and dies for me. Jesus, Lord, I ask for mercy. Let me not implore in vain. All my sins I now detest them. Never will I sin again.
Let's give him some claps. Beautiful and effortless.
Thank you, Ferdina.
Very nice. But I'm going to tell you what I need. Before we wrap up the program, I still want something from Elton John.
Elton John.
Yes, so get ready for that. But that was absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed that. Do you sing in church?
I do.
Outside of just, the normal when you're doing your, priestly things in church. Sometimes when you speak, you do it in song and so on. But do you sing?
I do.
You do, and your parishioners love it.
Of
Clearly,
course.
you are amazing, Father.
Thank you.
Lita. Yes. All right. So it is 10:05. The time in the studios. Outside of all of this, Father Lita, what do you enjoy doing? What are some of the things? Do you enjoy reading? What do you enjoy?
I enjoy traveling. But
there's
no traveling at this time.
No.
So I long for the day when it is safe to travel. I know people venture out now, but I still don't find it safe to travel. But I do a lot of traveling in the country. On a Sunday I'll take my car and head to Keeping It Real and have some lobster. You need
to take me along one of those days.
All right, I will. I'll go to Red Rock. I'll go to Shortier. Just name it. I love
you love
driving.
exploring.
I love exploring. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So I love reading as well. I love music.
Mm-hmm.
I love music.
Do you play any instrument? Unfortunately, but you sing beautifully.
Thank you.
So that's okay. We can work with that.
Of course.
TV. Are you a TV person?
No. I just try to catch up on the news.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't watch any? I would have thought you'd probably be a guy who would probably be watching The Bachelor along with me.
Unfortunately,
no.
But I do love going to the movies.
Okay.
If I get the movie,
is it the experience?
The experience.
Yes.
Having with friends. I love movies.
Anything we missed out on tonight, Father Lita, that you missed that I didn't ask? I normally try my best to ask as much, as I possibly can. Sometimes the audience asks us questions
Yes.
as well. But they seem to be.
Yes,
This is his sister T from Atlanta, Georgia. This is Sister T from Atlanta,
Oh,
Georgia.
Sister T.
Yes, just there's quite a few people, digging the vibes with us there tonight.
I realize that.
And I'm sure that they're absolutely enjoying it.
I realize that.
For-
the parish priest of St. Anne and St. Anne comprises of Mauma, Sakin, Phil,
Okay.
Warner, Campbell, and I do have a very large and very supportive parish, lots of resources, human resources available in the parish. We are one of the parishes that we are live every Sunday online. So we reach out to a lot of the diaspora people, Dominicans who just want a Dominican Mass, put it this way, because the Mass in the States is boring and the presentation is in 30 minutes and there's no substance. So we offer that every Sundays. Since COVID, since the reopening of churches, and going pretty well. So people can even request. People are even requesting Mass, by wherever they are, and can be part of being home. Yeah.
All right. Somebody says, very interesting. We went to Teachers College together when
Yes,
he was
sir.
a teacher at Convent Prep. I have this person saved on a name in my phone, but I do not think it may be the same person. The person said he knows how to make you feel happy around him. He cracks you up with laughter. And she wanted to make sure that I read her message.
Oh.
And somebody has just reminded me that you were supposed to share the story about how you and Gist became good friends.
The accident.
It was the accident.
Yes.
Oh.
So his arm got broken.
My arm.
Right.
Yes. I think
And
he's
I felt-
reeling,
Huh?
I think he's on.
Yes. And I felt responsible for that.
Okay.
And I thought that he was going to sue me.
Oh my
So
God.
I had to be a really, really good friend. And of course, I remember when we were married, he asked me to be his best man.
Yes.
And then
That must have been special.
Yes, and then he had his son, and he had to be Godfather Power. And even his son got confirmed last year, and was also Godfather again.
Wait.
So yeah, really good buddies, really good friends.
Somebody wants to know what you eat every Friday. Don't tell me you like black pudding like Lisa. Is it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
Oh,
I
gosh.
love it too.
Oh
my weakness.
gosh,
One of my
I
weaknesses.
go to 4 different places to make sure which is the best. I know which one is the best.
You know which one is the best? We'll
Yes.
talk about that
We'll talk about
after, in case you
Right,
might have
right.
to check it out too.
Right.
So
it
it
is
seems
really
when I
good.
come by, you have to come on a Friday. After later, we have to start wrapping up. We took back our time.
Right.
In terms of, somebody considering the priesthood, is that something that you would recommend? And why?
Well, of course,
And
I
with
recommend
what
it.
terms?
We have to walk with the person, because too many times in the past people have used formation, used the education. It happens there. To get a degree and to leave.
They leave.
Yes. So we have what we call a vocational accompaniment, where we invite a person to your home, invite them for a weekend, spend a week, 2 weeks, a month, and you look at the person, you see if they have their material for the priesthood. Of course, we don't just take anyone like that. We have to get to know them. We have to get a psychological test. It was not crazy up there.
Right.
So it takes it's a process, But of course, if there's anyone who's interested, we let them know. Come, we want to meet you. Yeah. So of course, if there's anyone out there who's thinking about the priesthood, my number is 245-3720.
245-3720. Okay, we got that. Yes. Okay, so Father Lisa, we're going to get some final comments from you, and we'll close out with your whichever one what are you going to do from Elton?
Oh, Daniel.
Which one? Daniel, my brother. That one?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
What are you
So
thinking of?
no.
Okay.
That's it. Daniel, my friend. There's a friend. I have a friend named Daniel. who should be tuned. Yes, I can see he's here. I can see his bobblehead. So Daniel, you're there. He's going to do Daniel by Elton John. But your final comments, and then we close off with this song from Elton John.
Yes, so my final comment is the priesthood is a great life. It all depends on what you put into it. I'm a very easygoing priest, so if you see me, don't think, about a stooge priest or people have a stereotype and taboo with priests. I'm a cool guy. I talk with anyone. I have friends who are Rastafarians. And I go at their home and they take their little thing. And I tell them, do your stuff, do your stuff, do your stuff. So I'm a very cool, down to earth. I associate with everyone.
Good,
no one
important.
is, too big that I cannot, or too small that I cannot interact with.
That's
I'm
important.
a people's person.
That's
I get down to the level. Right?
Yes, that's how we are.
All right. That'll be cool.
Yes. Father, it was an absolute joy. I'm serious. An absolute joy. People, somebody said that you're very relaxed.
Yeah.
But I do that to people too, I ensure that when people come to this program that they're comfortable and they're relaxed. And that's why a lot of times I get things out of them that probably they didn't intend on sharing. But I'm happy that you were relaxed and that you were able to to share with us and to bring us joy, make us laugh, make us smile, and that if a priest can do that, I want to come where you preach.
Exactly.
I want to come where you preach.
Exactly.
Look where I'm sure you're the type who attracts people to the church, and that is definitely important.
In fact, this year we have seen a very large number of people. Right after January, people come to the church.
An increase.
Yeah.
Good
But
stuff.
I asked, well, why? And someone said to me, well, you have a young priest. You have a cool priest.
Tell them don't forget to put their offering. Make sure you put your offering, okay?
The tithe.
Yeah, is that what it's called for the Catholic Church? No, that's
offering. But some people do tithe.
Okay.
Yeah, making a personal choice to tithe.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Father Letang, thank you again. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you. We kept our viewers, and I'm sure our listeners as well. You kept them all the way through. Your numbers have remained the same almost, throughout the program. So that I think is excellent.
Wonderful.
So you're going to take us out with Daniel, my brother.
You are.
I cannot sing like you, but I can talk. I can
Little
sing.
my call.
He's relaxing a little more to do this one. Oh my goodness. Okay, you Facebook guys are really getting the joy in this thing. Yes.
Daniel is traveling tonight on the plane. I can see the red tail lights heading to Spain. Oh, I can see Daniel waving goodbye. Oh, it looks like Daniel must be the clouds in my eyes. This Spain is pretty, but I've never been. And Daniel say is the best place that he's ever seen. Oh, he's been there enough. Oh, I miss Daniel. Oh, I miss him so much. Oh, Daniel, my brother, you are older than me. Do you still feel the pain of the scars that won't heal? Your eyes have died, but you see more than I. Daniel, you're a star in the face of the sky.
That's it, Father?
Yes. It's like you want more?
I want it more. Look, they're asking for a part 2.
What?
I'm telling you. Father, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure for that.
Yeah, man. The pleasure was all mine.
Yeah.
I sincerely mean this when I say that. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
It was my pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Next week, I should say that the Dominica Freedom Party has a new interim leader.
Okay.
So he's going to be my guest next week Monday. So that's something to definitely look out for. So you all want more too? Oh my goodness. Father, if you can do one more fast. One more fast. He's gonna do one more fast and then we're gonna wrap up. We're just stealing back our time. That's all it is.
Yes, what's another Elton John song?
Yes, you can do another Elton John. Okay guys, one more. He's gonna do one more for us. And then we're gonna go. Alright? So you're all still there. They're still sticking around. They're still there.
What song can I sing by Elton John again? You want for that?
You can run too deep, too deep.
Goodbye, England's Rose.
Yeah.
I don't know what too well.
You don't know that one too well? Oh my goodness.
Hold on.
Okay, he's gonna do one. For that, I need to come Mass at St. Martin de Porres. That's the name of yours. Okay.
That's it. St. Martin de Porres.
Okay. Alright, just bringing up a few people as I'm seeing you all. Hi Leon, Sacrifice. Leon says Sacrifice. Do you know this one well enough? Leon. Jeffrey, Teresa. I'm just seeing some people just commenting and just saying hello to them while you're looking. Hi Darren. I didn't get that one. Is that Sharian? Mr. Sarah. Nice. Circle of Love. Yes. Circle of Life, you mean? Is it Circle of Life or Circle of... You're getting suggestions there.
Okay.
Fanelia. Nikita, is it cold? In your little corner of the world. I know
a love song.
I'll stick to talking. But
apart from Elton John, I love John Denver.
Okay, all right, we can do John Denver and then we wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna sing Perhaps Love. You know this one?
Oh yes, perhaps love is like a.
Perhaps love is like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort. It is there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memory of love will bring you home. Perhaps love is like a window, perhaps an open door. It invites you to come closer. It wants to show you more. And even if you lose yourself and don't know what to do, the memory of love will see you through. Oh, lover's psalm is like a cloud, to some as strong as steel. For some a way of living, for some a way to feel. And some say love is holding on, and some say letting go. And some say love is everything, and some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like the ocean, full of conflict, full of pain. Like a fire when it's cold outside, thunder when it rains. If I should live forever and all my dreams come true, my memory of love will be of you. My memories of love will be of you. My memory of love will be of you. Good night.
Oh my goodness, this was awesome. Guys, we have to go now. So we thank you so much for tuning into the program, and we will be back next week Monday with another great show right here on In the Spotlight. Good night, Father Beta.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you again.
Welcome.
We would love to hear from you.
That was lovely. Oh my God. Yes, y'all can go on. Father in love.